So the first person we're going to honor is Dr. I was joking with her this morning that for the last month or two, she's been Catherine Kit Farrell Poe, but she goes by Kit. We can just call her that, I think is what we all agree to. But Dr. Mark Riley is going to provide the introductory comments for her. Thank you, Mark.
All right. Hello, friends. What a wonderful evening. This is just a fantastic event and in a great way to express our appreciation for people who've done some amazing things. So it's my true honor to introduce Dr. Kit Farrell Poe. So Kit and I go back, we're on the faculty together at the University of Arizona for a number of years. So I've known Kit for a nice chunk of her career. So in a word, Kit is a trailblazer. So she has a tremendous list of firsts on her resume. The first person to do this, the first person to do that. And it's truly remarkable what she's been able to accomplish. So she is an alumnus of this department. She was the first woman to receive a bachelor's degree in agricultural engineering from the University of Nebraska-Lincoln. And while she was here, she worked on some research activities in rural electrification, sponsored by USDA. She was very involved in the ASAE at the time, and that was a little unfortunate because other institutions thought, gee, we'd like to convince you to come here for graduate school. So she went to Purdue, got her master's and then PhD in agricultural engineering. And a couple of years ago, Purdue recognized her as an outstanding alum of their program. So Nebraska, we're a little slow, but we get there. So Kit's eventually moved to Utah State and joined the faculty there. She was the first woman in the Department of Agricultural Technology and Education. I'm missing a word, but that's close enough. While she was at Utah State, she developed extension programming focused on wastewater treatment and water quality. So then somewhere around 1999 or so, we convinced her to move to the University of Arizona, and she and her husband, Steve, lived in Yuma, Arizona, which is basically at the California border, just a little north of Mexico. And Kit was then the first woman on the faculty in agricultural and biosystems engineering at the University of Arizona. And she continued her work in wastewater treatment, on-site wastewater management. She also became the regional water quality coordinator for Region 9, which includes the southwest part of the U.S., but it also includes a number of the Pacific Islands, American Samoa and the like. And so she developed programming to help people become trained in inspection of on-site wastewater systems. And her impact truly was across the globe, which is a really fantastic, remarkable thing. So then in probably about 2014, she became department chair of agriculture and biosystems engineering at the time, and she was the first woman department chair of the program. And she managed the department through some very complicated, complex times, helped them grow, developing some new programming in biometrics, which in many ways is like biostatistics and bioinformatics applied to living systems. She hired a number of faculty in this space, built up academic programming, and the department did wonderfully well under her leadership. So a couple of key things to know about Kit. She clearly fits the humbleness of people from Nebraska and from this institution. But what she's done is truly trailblazing. To be the first person of certain demographics over and over and over and over again is a remarkable thing. And it takes a lot of gumption, a lot of the ability to say, why not? And so Kit, you're truly an inspiration to me and to so many folks. So thank you so much for what you've done for our profession, for this institution, and we continue to see the wonderful impact that you're having. So please come up here. Congratulations.
Wow. First of all, I'm from out of state. So I'm from Ohio. And I wanted to let you know, there's a group of you that know how I got here, but I wanted the rest of you to know how I got here. This was in 1975. I had an uncle who was a professor on campus, and he taught me about the deal that if you lived here for a year and applied for state residentship, you could get pay in-state tuition for your next 3 years. Well, bless my father, he decided to send all 4 of his kids to college so that we wouldn't have debt afterwards. So he was a canny man, and it was cheaper to send me out of state 1 year and then in state for the next 3 years than to send me to Ohio State or University of Cincinnati. So I ended up at, well, that was one reason. I thought I was Little Miss Independent, and then back in the day, they had a brochure of all the programs with all of the classes and their descriptions, and on the cover were cherry trees in bloom. And I thought, oh, if this place has cherry trees, I'll go there. I never found those cherry trees. So how did I get into ag engineering? I don't have a farm background. So my mother, bless her heart, thought a lot about farming. Her dad was a farmer during the Depression. He lost the farm to the Depression, but she always made sure that we got to go to a farm. Then when I got here, I was undeclared engineering. How did I want to go into engineering? Well, that started back in high school. I was really good in English. I loved English and history. But in my mind, you could either read it, write it, or teach it. None of that sounded fun to me. I was also very good in math and science, and I had a bunch of engineers in my family. And what I saw and what I knew, what I felt in my heart is that engineers solve problems. They solve the thorny, complex problems. And I wanted to be a part of that. I wanted to be an engineer. So I came here, undeclared engineering, and again, I go through that booklet, and I narrow it down to civil engineering, which my brother did in Ohio State, and this funky thing called ag engineering. And I said, okay, there were 3 classes in civil engineering I didn't want to take, and there were only 2 in ag engineering. Believe it or not, that was my decision. And then when I found out I was going to be the only girl, whoa, that cinched it. I go to my first class. I sit down in the back because everybody sits down in the back. Everybody sat in front of me. Okay, I'll get you. I sat in front. Everybody sat behind me. Oh, I'll get you. I sat in the middle. There was a donut hole around me. It took me a little while to get used to. The boys didn't really get onto me, but I'll tell you what, the faculty were amazing. They never once said to me, why do you want to be an ag engineer now? Because I used furrow and farrow interchangeably for a whole semester. I did not know where a PTO, I knew what a PTO drive did, had no idea where it was on the tractor. And I just was reminded today, I was taking a power and machinery class, and they just got done with a big class talking about combines. I had to go up to the professor afterward and say, what is a combine? So they, bless their heart, they brought me through, they supported me, they made me feel valuable. And I think that's a really important thing. You never know throughout your whole career what an impression you can make on people. And so I want to leave you with this, that this is one of the best institutions in the whole world. And I'm really glad I'm a part of it. Thank you.